heard of exterior ceramic coatings, but have you heard of interior ceramic coatings? Stick around to find out what they're all about. All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel. Appreciate you joining. If this is your first time, thank you so much. Please consider liking and subscribing. For those of you that already subscribed, welcome back. It's good to have you. Today we're gonna hopefully make this a short video. We're gonna get into interior ceramic coatings, specifically the Ethos leather interior ceramic coating. I was lucky enough to try this product out on a brand new Tesla that came in. I think it was a 2024 Tesla Model Y. So we'll get into the demo shortly. I cover how I use it. Overall, it turned out pretty good, so I'm happy with that, so spoiler alert. But interior ceramic coatings, for those of you that don't know anything about ceramic coatings, typically they're SiO2 infused, and they create kind of a barrier on the surface, or think of it like a sacrificial layer. For those of you that know what ceramic coatings are for cars, you put it on the exterior of your vehicle, and it creates, typically water beading or water sheeting. So similar on this product, it's creating that sacrificial layer, right? And you're putting this on your interior trim pieces or your interior seats, and it's creating a protective barrier that offers a whole slew of benefits. So I'll get into those in a minute, but we just wanted to give you a heads up of, like, if you had no idea what interior ceramic coatings are, this is kind of the difference. So we'll jump into interior protection of your vehicle. What do we know? What are we used to for traditional interior protection? Like if we talk about seats or we talk about dashboards, there's usually dressings that we're used to. Old school, it was Armor All, slather that on, greasy, sticky, grimy mess, and that would offer some sort of protection for your interior. We've graduated to more advanced products. Typically, they don't leave anything behind. Typically, they leave you with a satin or OEM finish. And the protection is minimal, right? It could last days, weeks, or maybe months. And the idea behind it is it's meant to, some of them create UV protection, some of them do create like a hydrophobic barrier. But overall, the purpose of interior dressings are to protect your seats or create a sacrificial layer. So we get into ceramic coatings. There's a few on the market today. Geon has one, Geon Leather Shield, and Ethos is another one that is Ethos Leather Interior Coating. Now the difference between this and Geon, this isn't a comparison between Geon, but Geon, that is, only advertises that it can be used on like leather seats. This, however, is a little bit more versatile, where it advertises it can be used on multitude of different surfaces. You can use it on dashboards or wood trim or door cards and your seats. So I do like that for that reason. It's definitely more versatile. So I'll read you some of the highlights from the Ethos website directly. Some of the claims. Talks about protecting against chemical spills, stains, scuffs, and harmful UV rays, long-lasting wear and UV protection, flexible and durable coating so it adapts to the natural movement of the leather and vinyl without cracking or peeling, and then effortless maintenance. So I think that's one of the biggest appeals of this. When you coat your surfaces, it just makes them a lot easier to clean. All right, so we'll get into claims about how long these last. On Ethos's website directly, it says you can expect it to last up to 1 year with a single application. Now, I think on lower used sections of the vehicle, like your dashboard or your rear seats, if you don't have kids or passengers and you put that on, I would imagine it's going to last much longer because it's not seeing much abrasion. If you remember from previous videos, usually the only things to remove ceramic coatings are abrasion or any sort of protective product in the ceramic world. There are chemicals that can go super high or super low that may affect ceramics, but typically what we see removing any sort of protective barriers is abrasion. So if you put a coating or some sort of cover on, if you put some sort of protective sealant on your car seats, for example, think about that. You're getting in and out of your seats, you're wearing pants, you're wearing blue jeans, you're wearing whatever, and that is just rubbing against the surface every day, inside out. So over time, whatever you put on your seats is eventually going to wear away. So I would hope, I haven't spoken to the owner, but I would hope that when they make the claim of, up to a year, they've done some sort of testing that says, well, you know, typical usage, you know, everyday driving, getting in and out of a car. Again, I don't even know if it's been out long enough for anyone to actually test that year claim, but most coatings I'm seeing are coming out and saying about a year of protection or 18 months. I think Geon offers 18 months. I would hope that's pretty conservative. Hopefully it'll last longer, especially if you're maintaining your interior. So that's what they talk about in terms of the claims. All right, so we'll talk about pricing right now. And as at the time of this filming, it's $59.99 on Ethos's website. It does come in a 50 ml bottle versus most ceramic coatings, which are a 30 ml bottle. Pretty cool. Actually, this for the same price, the $59.99 right now, as I'm looking at it, it does come with the full kit. So you get the leather ceramic coating, you get the Ethos Fresh interior cleaner, and it looks like 2 towels, also for that same price of $59.99. Seems like a pretty good deal to me. If you want to use the code Fine Detailing, you can get yourself 10% off there. So that's it for the price. Pretty reasonable, I think, comparatively to others on the market. I'll throw up the Geon price on the screen as well, just to compare it. But again, I think this is pretty well priced comparatively on the market because of the fact that it can go further, right? Like you don't just have to use it on seats. So that's the overview of Ethos Leather Ceramic, you know, what it is and the pricing. What do you have to do to prep for it? Now, the prep only talks about cleaning the surface before you apply it, and I think that applies well for anything. It's all about your preparation. If you want the longevity of something, you've got to do the prep. We know for ceramic coatings how many steps and how many decontamination steps you can take. So if this is a brand new car or if it's an older used car, it just depends on that level of dirt, but prepping it appropriately is going to get you the best longevity. So of course, every brand recommends that you clean and use their products together. We're talking about a cleaning product, right? You can use the Ethos Fresh interior cleaner to clean your seats and your dashboards and everything, but you can also use other brands too. I used for our test Koshkemi Polestar. I used it on the dashboards, I used it on the seats, and it was a new car, right? So I didn't have to go super crazy. There wasn't a ton of staining. I actually used this scrub pad. I love these scrub pads. They're not super aggressive, but they'll do the job. So this is a really good option. This is actually the Koshkemi scrub pad. I'll link to that below. If you want to go something lighter, like this actually would have done just fine with these soft brushes. Because again, we're just cleaning surface level dirt. It was a brand new car that I applied this to, so there wasn't a ton of dirt. We just want to get the surface prepped. You can use these little detail brushes. You can use a plant-based cleaner instead of a chemical cleaner. This will do a really good job. This is Geist Rapid Leather Repair. Sorry, not leather repair. Rapid Leather and Vinyl Cleaner. This works on door cards and dashboards alike. So you can use anything like that, and just a standard microfiber towel just to make sure you get everything wiped off. Make sure it's kind of dried or it's flashed right before you go into the ceramic coating. Just make sure it's dry to the touch and there's nothing left behind. In terms of the application, they give you kind of one of those little applicators. I used it, so I didn't save it for you. I actually prefer, this is the saver, the auto fiber saver. These things kind of come off and it's Velcros, and you can use kind of both sides, and it doesn't soak in. I think there's a layer in between here. I use these for my exterior ceramic coatings, and so I use this for my interior ceramic coating, and it worked out really well. I think whatever applicator, if you want to use a suede block, would work really well. So we will jump into the demo. We'll show you that, and then we'll come back and talk about our final thoughts. See you in a minute. All right, we are gonna do our test today. So we are going with Ethos leather interior coating. It's a 50 ml bottle here, and we're gonna put this basically on all the surfaces, plastics, wood, seats, and this should allow for 12 months of protection. So I've already shaken up the bottle per the instructions. We are going to apply it and let it sit for 1 to 2 minutes. And so we're just gonna coat this like I know to coat. We're gonna saturate the pad and put our cap back on, and we'll see how it does. Okay, kind of like a rich effect here. Looks pretty good. Smells like a coating, not too bad, but so it says let sit for 1 to 2 minutes, so we'll come back and knock it down if there's any high spots, but I'm not super worried about it. So I think that looks pretty good. We'll stop in the middle just to see a side by side. All right, I'm gonna add some more to the applicator here. Okay. And then we're gonna try it on the wood trim. Wood trim. Yeah, I mean, overall it's soaking right in. It looks rich there, but it's I think it's soaking in, so we'll give that a couple more minutes. Make sure we get behind here. It's a little grabby. I just don't know if this wood wasn't sanded. Again, it looks a little shiny. We're gonna give it, but if you look at the dash, definitely looks like kind of like a high spot, but we're gonna go back and level it. That's been about 1 to 2 minutes. So let's see how it does. Oh yeah, it goes away immediately when you level it. And that's it. It's meant to look totally matte, and that's the whole point of it, right? To look OEM, but now we have the protection. So we're gonna let that cure. I believe I was told give it at least an hour to let that cure. I actually don't know if it's listed on their website, so that is something. So Tim, Ethos, if you guys are watching, it would be cool if you updated your instructions just to let us know how long it needs to cure. All right, so we're gonna level this. Yep, beautiful. No issues on this wood here. Guys, if you're ever not sure if something's gonna work on an area, do a test spot, an inconspicuous test spot, just in case you do get some damage, but I'm not seeing anything there. Yeah, it looks really good. So we're gonna go knock out the rest of this interior. All right guys, we just applied this to the top of the steering wheel. We are going to level. Yeah, wow, it really looks nice. It, I think it deepens the pigment here. Not by a lot, so don't let that worry you. But it just makes it kind of like rich, and maybe that'll dissipate over time, but yeah, looks really good here. So, you know, in theory, this obviously, I don't think you really can get much water on your steering wheel, but helps with dye transfer, helps with oil transfers, and in theory should make, you know, everything kind of easier to clean. But it's got a light smell to it, like a coating, like I mentioned earlier, but it's not super strong. I imagine, you know, you'll probably want to let this cure for a while, just so that smell isn't super strong, but I assume it'll dissipate. So just kind of getting it on here. This little applicator is actually really nice. I don't usually like these, but it's small and it can fit in these kind of tight spaces. So it's really good to see. Yeah, just make sure you're thorough with your coverage. And again, like, you know, this isn't going to stop this is a high traffic area, if you will, and you know, the driver's going to touch this pretty regularly, and all it'll do is hopefully just make cleaning it a little bit easier. But I think it'll show up better on like the seats or the high friction areas, and hopefully prevent against dye transfer. This is, while we're waiting for that to cure, Here's the dash again. I did that 50 line. I didn't even finish the dash, and you can see it settled in right after the level. So totally OEM matte finish. You have nothing to worry about putting it on your trim pieces or anything like that. And now that is ceramic coated. So like I said, we'll let that cure for a little bit. We'll do a little water behavior test and see how it looks. And bring you back here to the steering wheel. All right, so it looks shiny. Obviously it's wet. We've let it sit for 30 seconds to a minute. And you're just gonna level it out. And it instantly becomes matte. OEM finish again. It looks as if nothing was there, which is the point, right? Like you don't want to add shine to your leather. You don't want to add gloss. You want to just keep it looking factory, but know that it's protected. All right, guys, so I chose to clean the seats and all the surfaces with Kokemi Polestar. Of course, they advise you to use their own product, which is Ethos Fresh, but puts them on the applicator, and we're gonna do our seats. So you just wanna be methodical here, stay organized. Make sure that you're covering all the sections, and it's okay if you miss a spot, just go back and get it. It's actually looking like it's soaking it up, so I'm actually going to apply a little bit more. So I'll set you down. Maybe that's why they give you the 50 mil, I'm not sure. Pro tip, if you're applying this and you really want to be methodical, put your seats back there. You can kind of get in the nooks and crannies there a little bit better. Long working time. You know, I don't think we're supposed to treat it like an exterior ceramic coating, so overall it seems so far pretty easy to work with. But yep, it's all about prep, so just make sure you prep your seats. Make sure they're clean. All right, so we'll let that sit for a couple minutes. Make sure you get the front. And we are gonna add a little bit more. And I'm gonna do the plastics as well. And the side of the seat. Yeah, so it ridgens, kind of ridgens it up, if that's a word. Yeah, so I'm just going to coat all the surfaces here and see how it does. It is nice with the, when you're applying it, because you can see where you got, where you missed. Okay, seats seem ready to level. Yeah, it levels nicely. I'm giving it a little bit of elbow grease, but nothing substantial. Yeah, pretty happy with that. Looks matte. Literally doesn't look like anything is on the surface again. That's the point. And there you go, guys. That's uncoated. That's coated. I can't tell a difference, can you? And I think that's the point, right? So we'll let that cure, see how the water behavior looks. But overall, really simple application. Okay guys, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed the demo. I didn't want to spend a ton of time showing you every single surface. Showed you the dashboard, showed you the wood trim, which I thought was really important to see. And then the steering wheel, right? Like all these kind of high touch areas. I did it on the seats as well. Overall, pretty decent experience. I didn't have any major issues. I did notice, maybe it was just like these brand new like Tesla seats. It seemed almost thirsty. It really like soaked up the coating. They were non-perforated seats, and it was just really kind of drinking it up. So take that for what it is. I think that was probably just the specific leather or pleather in this vehicle. But overall, it went really well. I did notice certain areas when I was applying it, like on the seats, for example, I did have to come back and kind of, I let it sit for, a minute or two, or I believe that's what it's recommended. And then kind of, buff with the microfiber. I did notice like almost kind of some high spots, and there were a few spots that I kept buffing, and I thought in my head, I'm like, well, do I want to kind of buff really hard and then potentially remove what I just put on? So instead I went back, like just using, traditional ceramic coating knowledge, was I applied just a little bit more to the applicator. I re-wet the area just ever so slightly, kind of reactivated it, and then wiped it off, and it came off pretty clean. So that was my experience. I don't know if that was just unique to this leather. Again, it was being really finicky, but overall the application was really easy. The wipe off, for the most part, on most surfaces was really easy. And hopefully you saw in the video, right? Like I did a 50-50 on the dash, and I stopped. It absorbs in, and once you wipe it and level it, it looks totally OEM. And that's what we want, guys. We don't want any surfaces to be glossy or shiny. We want leather or the plastics, like when things are clean, they should be matte or satin finish. They should not be shiny. So that's an indicator that those are dirty when you see shiny leather. So this does not alter or change the leather or wood trim or any other pieces on the vehicle. So you can use this kind of without having to worry. Obviously, always do a test spot on somewhere inconspicuous and make sure it doesn't change it, right? Every vehicle and manufacturer are different in the products and the quality of products they use. So try this on an inconspicuous area. Make sure you'll be, you're not going to cause any damage before you just slather it on in the middle of your dashboard. But overall, I applied this everywhere, and it should offer some really good protection for that Tesla owner. So I hope you enjoyed the review today. Again, I would use this again. I think it's a really great product. For reference, I covered an entire Tesla Model Y. So think of that for your size. I did front and rear seats, the fronts and the backs of them. I did the dashboard, and I did the door cards and kind of all like the lower sections and like the trim pieces, like the kick plates underneath. So I did pretty much the entire car. I have a little above a half a bottle left, and this is a 50 ml bottle. So you could definitely get 2 cars, probably maybe 3 cars out of this, if there was a smaller one, or if you're just doing seats, this will last you a while. Overall, I think this was a really good experience, and I'm excited to see how it holds up. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. If you stuck around this long, thank you so much. Please don't forget to give it a like and a subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye, everybody.